To remove the battery, open the battery compartment. Push on the release hatch and remove the battery. Reinsert properly without forcing. To get your SD card, open the SD card compartment. Never touch the gold tip of the card, as this may damage the card and its content. With the label facing the back of the camera, reinsert the SD card. To remove the lens cap, simply apply pressure to the sides and remove. To power up the camera, put the switch to on. The button, just above the on, is your shutter release button. Before shooting, make sure your picture size and quality is set. Press the menu button, and using the cursors, go to the second menu and go to the second tab that says Image Quality. Make sure NEF RAW and JPEG Fine is selected. To control the focus and zoom of your camera, make sure the switch is set to M for manual. The first ring is to zoom in and out, as it controls the lens's telephoto abilities. And the second ring controls the focus. To change your ISO, press the information button, then use the cursors to go to the ISO tab. Press OK. Here you have all your ISO settings. ISO is the measure of your camera's sensitivity to available light. The lower the ISO number, the less sensitive it is to the light, and vice versa. A low ISO creates a crisp image, while a high ISO creates a lower quality image, usually resulting in video noise. To change your white balance settings, press the information button, then use the cursors to go to the white balance tab. Here are all the presets. Aperture is the size of the opening in the lens. Aperture is measured in f-stops, and you can see the f-stops increasing here. The higher the f-stop number, the smaller the opening, and vice versa. Here's what the lens opening looks like when the aperture is adjusted to let more or less light in. Shutter speed is the length of time that the shutter is left open. Generally speaking, the slower the shutter speed, the greater the degree of motion blur, and vice versa. In the programmed exposure mode, the camera selects both the f-stop and shutter speed to ensure proper exposure, but the user can choose from multiple combinations of the two settings. Use the plus-minus button and the dial to set the exposure properly. The camera will then adjust the f-stop and shutter speed accordingly. In the shutter priority exposure mode, the user sets the shutter speed and the camera selects the f-stop that will produce a good exposure. Use the dial to change the shutter speed. In the aperture priority exposure mode, the user selects the f-stop and the camera selects the shutter speed that will produce a good exposure. Use the dial to change the f-stop. In the manual exposure mode, the user controls both the shutter speed and the f-stop. Press the plus-minus button and use the dial to change the f-stops. and then use only the dial to change the shutter speed.